Hello and welcome to the B Button. I'm your host Baron Marf, and here we are on episode 2, joined as always by my compadre in arms, one and only Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good.
What have you been up to this week? We've been gaming.
GTA. Literally, that is it.
The Phoenix game.
Yeah, it is very much so, because I think they've done a pretty good job, especially now they've brought in extra stuff to make me spend all of my money that I've accrued over the last sort of few weeks.
We've been squirreling cash, haven't we, you and I? So we've been spending lots of times doing like the organisation VIP stuff, just piling out those 20 grand hits over and over again, thinking we're doing well, we're building up a nice bit of bunts. Yeah,
and then obviously the new online update popped out today, and that kind of disappeared.
Damn it.
But more about that later.
Yeah, exactly. So anything else, or has it just been GTA?
Well, I actually picked up the Punch Club game that came out. Well, I didn't know this when it came out, but I saw it was out, so I picked that up today. It's pretty good. It's some cheeky little references in there, some nice little pop culture references.
Yeah,
but I've only just scratched the surface.
What do we have in there? A bit of Jane Silent Bob?
Yeah. There's a little homage to Mr. Kevin Smith and his wonderful movies.
Excellent, love a bit of that. Me, I've been on all sorts of games this week. I say all sorts. It's been GTA and spending splooge, but there's also been some COD. There's been some Battlefront. Mostly Mario and Luigi as well. Paper Jam Bros. That sort of snuck out. I knew it was kind of coming out, but I was like umming and ahhing over it. Lots of ums, and generally I thought, am I going to bite the bullet? And did, and it's amazing, man. It's well worth a play.
I mean, to be fair, I think most Nintendo games, if I can actually pronounce it properly.
Nintendo.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shady Chinese rip-off.
Yep.
I think they're pretty much solid games. I mean, they do tend to be fairly well-rounded and worth the cash.
It's that same old thing. Nintendo just absolutely amazing at doing that A B B A B B B sort of gameplay.
Oh, of course. Now I remember the game that it sort of spawned from on the original DS.
It's all about time. Love it. Cool. Okay, so we're going to move on to our Bullet Bills Big 3 section. And into our Bullet Bills Big 3. So we're going to touch on some of the news items of the week. What's our first bullet hole for this week, Link?
Well, we've had some information about the Battlefront Season Pass.
Ooh.
Well, we all knew it was coming. Obviously, it's an EA game, so there's always a Season Pass.
Yep.
But they've actually come out with what's going to be on the way. So, we've got the first release is going to be in March, so it's a couple of months away yet. But we're going to have the Outer Rim expansion.
Boom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's better than Inner Rim.
Oh.
But obviously you're going to have the Factories of Sullust and Jabba's Palace are going to feature in that one. Obviously in the second quarter we're going to be heading to the Cloud City of Bespin, obviously Lando's pad. In the third quarter we've got the Death Star that's going to be visited, and then the final DLC of the season pass will be sometime early 2017. There's no actual information coming out about that, but again, it's going to be out in the next few months, according to spokespeople.
Cool. So there's lots and lots of locations there where I'm already going over clouds, cities. Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jabba's Palace is going to be an interesting one as well. Hopefully, the Rancor monster's there, because we want to see him get nailed. Because it's always fun.
Phrasing, boom.
Exactly. But even then, the Factories of Sullust. Obviously, that was, I believe, the factory from Clone Wars. From
3,
episode 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so obviously with the Separatists and all of the robots and...
The thing is, we've got Jabba's Palace in there and we've got Sullust. They're quite dark and dingy locations. They've got to do something to really perk those up, surely.
Well, I think Jabba's Palace will feature sort of outdoor and internal sections, because I can't imagine Jabba's Palace is going to be that big. I mean, speaking of... Obviously, I haven't actually played it myself, but I'd imagine most of the map sizes are fairly large. But... I don't know, it's wait and see, I think, really, before forging too many opinions.
So is this actually like pulling you in? Is this making you think, I've got to get this game yet?
No, quite frankly, no. The only thing I'm honestly interested in is the X-Wings and TIE fighters.
I spent a lot of time on Squadron Fighter, like loads and loads and loads of time. And the one thing I'd say about it is that for me, it was the quickest way to get points.
Yeah.
It was also really enjoyable. You can hold your own out there unless somebody gets a lock on you. But there is a few flaws with it. You get things such as like them going, "Watch out! You've got a missile on you!" By which time you're like a burning rubble on the ground.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, it's good, man. It's really good.
Basically, I'm just waiting for someone to turn up and make Rogue Squadron 3.
Yeah, we need that game. They were amazing.
I so want that game. I did see an interesting thing actually about some of EA's social media accounts. Obviously, any time anyone posts anything from EA, posts about whatever game, literally 3/4 of the comments will say Skate 4. It's all people want from EA is just Skate 4. There's just nothing. It's just like, yeah, bullshit to that game. Skate 4. When? Tell me now.
Brilliant. I love a bit of hammering by the people. Right, anyway, let's move on to our second bullet hole for this week, and it's all about the Division closed beta. Came out yesterday on Xbox One and released again today for
PS4 and PC.
Exactly. Well, Steam specifically, as they say. Steam's been having some serious issues though. Apparently, lots of people have been saying can't connect, can't get online. They've responded, come back and said, "Yeah, we know about it, so we're dealing with it. So give us a chance."
It's a beta.
That's what it's all about. There's lots of preamble before you play the game going, it may break, there may be bugs, we don't know what we're doing, give us a chance. So
but again,
it's beta.
Most people are going to be assholes about it and say, but exactly. It's a beta. That's the kind of the point.
You got it. So we've got a release date on March 8th, which I can't actually wait for. So I've played a bit of it now. I played it last night. It's really good. It's really, really good. You've got lots of elements like Destiny, so there's lots of working. It's an RPG. You've got the bullets, obviously the numbers on the bullets and damage and stuff like that. Very much
like the sort of MMO RPG sort of style.
Borderlands-esque. You've also got things such as gun modding, so you can have putting silencers on your guns, different scopes. You can mix and match them across different weapons. You've got 2 main weapons and a handgun.
Nice.
It's good. And the thing is, the cover methodology for it, the system behind it, really, really intuitive as well.
Yeah, because I've obviously seen a few gameplay videos. Obviously, loads of people are live streaming. If you didn't get on the beta, obviously you can check them out there. But it does look... I can't remember the name of the game. It was on the original Xbox. It's very much a tactical-based one. Yeah. But it was the way that you could go from cover to cover, and it would highlight every bit that you could go to, so you could always plan ahead, and it wasn't sort of, I'm going to jump out of cover and then just think, crap, where am I going to go? It would sort of show you where you can go, and obviously it's got very similar to that in there, isn't it? Because you can see the lines of where you're going to end up going to and the cover you're going to then take. Exactly
that. There's the whole roadie run thing that you hold the A button down and it sort of just shifts you over and gets you behind cover. The one thing I will say is there is a lot of shit going on that screen. Loads of stuff going on. You've got your backpack, which has got numbers and stuff hanging off the back of it. You've got the line that you can take cover. You've got incoming stuff and what that's going to do, and it's
HUD
busy.
Overlay, and then obviously the map overlay.
You've got your life bar and everything on the right of you all the time. At some points it was a bit overwhelming. I don't know if they're going to tweak that a bit. Don't know, but either which way, I was really impressed. I think it's going to be a Destiny contender, and it was released by Ubisoft, and it's not shit, so that's really impressive as well.
Yeah, well, it's a turn up for the books,
isn't it? Just so I hope they carry on just chipping away at that, getting it just right. I'm all about March 8th. I sense a holiday coming on. Cool.
Yeah, might have to be booking a week off for then, actually.
Damn right. Right, so on to our third bullet hole for this week, and what is it, Link? What is it?
Well, obviously we mentioned in the build-up about GTA Online, how we've been getting back into it big time. Obviously a new update dropped today ahead of it's pretty much well known that it's going to be a Valentine's update.
Yeah.
But there's a little something come through today. There's a new multiplayer mode called Drop Zone. So obviously you've got the adversary modes. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a new one of those, and it consists of 4 teams of 4, or up to 4 teams of 4, parachuting into various zones across the GTA map. And the idea is like King of the Hill style thing, where you've got to accrue up to 2 minutes of holding it.
Lock that shit down, basically.
Basically, yeah. But it's not consecutively. You can hold it for 30 seconds, get killed, and then come back and hold it for another 30 seconds, and it then counts towards as a minute.
Cool.
So yeah, obviously that's a new mode. That seems quite interesting. Obviously you've got parachute in via cargo bob. So I think that would be one of the few adversary modes I'd be interested in, because I do love a bit of skydiving in there.
Yeah, GTA. Awesome, man. I love a bit of that.
But Benny's Mod Shop has seen an update as well.
Ooh.
We've had new cars added.
Right, so basically I took out a small mortgage when they released the lowrider update, and since then I've been trying to build my cash back up. I was stupid enough to buy 2 lowriders and do them out fully. It's basically like watching real money drip away in a virtual environment.
Yeah.
So where are we now?
Pretty much the same place.
Oh god.
Well, we've got 2 new cars. Obviously, you've got the Sultan.
Yeah, love the Sultan.
Yeah. So yeah, I was instantly enamoured, and I've gone straight on this morning. As soon as I've woke up, flicked the Xbox on, started that update, jumped straight into it to ramp up the old Sultan. And you've also got the Banshee as well, like the Viper clone thing.
Yeah.
But I thought, it would be like very similar to the original series, a lot of them, and it'd be like 400 grand to sort of upgrade it. No, it's not that. It's close to 800.
You are joking, man. How can it justify that?
It's GTA. They need their cash monies, and I said it because we've known that there's going to be some newer modes, and hopefully obviously we all hope that there's going to be businesses or some kind of extra content that way. And I think it's very much they've released this as we're going to take all of your monies.
The monies.
So when this new update does drop, you're going to have to earn lots more monies buy lots more monies.
Yeah.
And I've fallen for it hook, line and fucking sinker.
Thing is though, let's be honest, if you said, for those who know, the people in the know, it's the Sultan.
Yeah,
it's a 4-wheel drive car. It's got 4 doors on it. It's just the shit, basically.
Mine hasn't anymore. It's not got 4 seats.
Oh god! Oh god! What have you done?
I've got my Karuma for that.
Oh,
my Karuma's the mission car, and it's now a proper rally car.
Oh, what?
But I mean, it does look epic. It's obviously new mods, these new wide body kits. Obviously, you can do all the internals and the dash. It's all cosmetic, pretty much. Obviously,
I can't afford this, Link. I can't afford this.
We can just do the one. You've got the Banshee or the Sultan.
Yeah, because I'm known for just doing the one.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, look, so either which way, that's our third bullet hole. I'm going to wrap this up real quick because basically I just need to get back onto GTA and earn that money.
I think it's a case of if you've got any waking hour, is just get into that buzzard and just start earning some money.
Oh god. Right, okay, we're going to chip out. We'll be back in a bit with our What's the Beef Chief section. Okay, so here we are in our What's the Beef Chief section. As always, we are carving large chunks of beets.
We're going vegetarian this week.
Beets, those mad beets, and we're going to be smashing them beets and bashing them beets. So, what is our beef for this week, Link?
Sony's assholery in trying to trademark Let's Play. Obviously, it's the second attempt that they've had, and they've been smashed back by the US trademark and the USTPO.
Oh yeah, them.
So I'm assuming one of them's patents and the other one's office.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's that. But basically, it was come out a couple of months back that they tried to trademark Let's Play, and they got shut down the first time.
Good. And
hopefully you'd think, yeah, let's learn from our mistakes and not waste our time. But no, they've come back.
More, are they?
Yeah, they've come back for a second backhand, and thankfully, for once, it seems that there's an organisation in America that aren't complete douchebags, and they've actually sided with the people, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, it is a ubiquitous term used by thousands, if not millions of people on YouTube, which I can see why Sony wants to do it now. So then they can then slam all of them and say, we want some monies.
Crazy thing is they don't get any money unless you're a company who's like really invested in an IP which says Let's Play on it.
Yeah.
You're not really gonna be, if you're some recorder on YouTube or something, they're not going to be chasing you for cash because they're not going to get anything which is worth it.
It'll be just a case of cease and desist, take the video down. But again, I mean, Sony have done an awful lot to sell an awful lot of PlayStation 4s. I think there's something like 36 million of them out there.
And they're welcome to that brand.
They are indeed. But I think if they was to have actually pushed through with this, and then started with like the same way that Nintendo last year got an awful lot of hate with the YouTube crowd, and obviously any Nintendo game was taken down from Let's Play unless you agreed to give Nintendo some of your YouTube money.
Screw you guys.
Yeah, then I think they were in for an awful tough time. I think those 36 million PlayStations would have been slightly watered down and maybe destroyed.
Honestly, I do worry what companies are thinking when they take this approach. I mean, we were talking about Candy Crush Saga. And King. Those bastards, those unbelievable people who just think that it's okay to try and copyright the words Candy, Crush, and Saga.
Yeah.
Like Saga's never been used in anything before, Candy's never been used before, Crush. It's just ridiculous, really.
Because it's not like you could buy Crush as a drink. It's not like that was ever a drink, and it's not like, candies, obviously if you're American, over here it's sweets. I mean, it's just smacks of assholery and douchery for me.
So Candy Crush Saga, they had a massive dispute with...
it was the people who made Banner Saga.
Yeah.
They were hit with cease and desists by King's lawyers for using the word saga. Now, there's a company in England or Britain that does tours and cruises for old people, and that's called Saga.
Yes, I'm booked in this year.
I'm wondering if they were hit with any kind of lettering sort of from them, because it's trademark, it's our trademark, you're watering down our trademark.
There's old people, they're enjoying themselves, attached to the word saga, get a boy.
That's it. Yeah, it does. I mean, I just can't understand it.
It does make me wonder with these sorts of situations whether people are actually trying to protect their IP or they're just trying to shit in other people's cereal.
I think it's possibly a case of the latter, but I mean, it's just sort of occurred to me. Obviously there's that term, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
I mean, for like 3 months, everybody was talking about King, and everybody was talking about Candy Crush Saga.
So but mostly they were calling them... I don't know if I want to use that word in the podcast, but...
Dropping the C-bomb.
Ooh, but they're definitely wankers. It's that... I mean, that's not cool, but what I do like now is we were doing a little bit of research on this on Kotaku beforehand, and a guy called Owen Good did a fantastic little article on it, and basically just splits out like the back and forth and kind of explains that if you've got money, you're going to win. If you're going to keep hammering,
you throw enough money at the wall, then
something's got to stick at some point or another.
Yeah, someone will there ready to shovel it up for you and give you everything you want.
Exactly that. But he explained that people like Candy Crush Saga, they're just basically trying to dominate spaces like Apple's Apple's market, the iOS market. But what I particularly like now is if you do put in things such as Candy Crush Saga, obviously they've got their little cube there which says this is our game, and then the next 30 are like guides and variations and all different.
It's crushed candies, or the saga of the crushed candy, and it's just. I mean, you've got to love again how much you want to be a douche. Let's ramp this up. I'm going to show you how to be a douche. And you've got to love the people's reaction is in defiance of it, in the 2-finger salute, basically.
You got two people. You get the ones who are just like, screw you guys, I'm going to be a dick about this now. And then you get the other ones who go, I'm going to ride this bandwagon and I'm going to get whatever cash I can get.
Yeah. Fucking right. I mean, I think the thing about the Candy Crush one that really, really did bake my tits was the fact that their game was a rip-off of a guy who'd released the game on the App Store 3 years previously. Yeah. And they literally, it was like an exact copy. They then got a cease and desist against this guy, and he had to take his game down. Yeah,
I've been on here for 2 years, and you're kicking me off?
Yeah, because I've infringed your trademark or copyright.
Break out the cash cannon, boom, boom, boom.
Basically, it does sort of slightly smack of that. And we know Apple and their love of cash. I mean, look at the little incremental updates that they basically roll out every year for their iPhones.
I'm there each year in the queue. Day release, day one.
Who was it I heard? He couldn't understand why people queue up for iPhones. It's like, really, guys, they're going to make enough for everyone. You're not gonna miss out. You can go 2 days later and they'll still have some.
Yeah, but I've got to have it now. I've got to have it right now. I must admit, I don't know why I've done it. Although, what I have done in the past, and this is a bit of a tangent now, is I like taking a chair and a hot drink with a flask.
Yeah.
So everybody else is there, stood there, freezing their asses off, uncomfortable. I'm just lounged out with a hot drink, enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, just playing on a DS or something like that.
Yeah, not an iPhone, but a DS. Yeah.
Better an Android phone.
Exactly. Anyway, we digress a little bit. So I think there's certain things that I expect to be sort of trademarked. I expect things like a title like Halo or Borderlands.
Yeah.
So that I'm perfectly cool with that.
Even terms like for the players, Sony has come up with that term. Then they can trademark. That's an associated PlayStation 4 term or a PlayStation term. Doesn't bother me. Like jump in as well. It's not something that they're going to then chase down every single word with jump. What's next? Microsoft suing Van Halen.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it goes to the nth degree, doesn't it?
It does.
And this is one of those situations where we see it and we just think, you're taking the piss. And there's nothing more satisfying than watching these people get their comeuppance. Like, for example, Sony would have spanked loads of money to do this, not once, but twice, and failed on both occasions.
Yeah.
And I hope it teaches them a lesson, really.
Well, I can't really see them running off with their tail between their legs. I think there may be a third and final sort of clawback and attempt at it. They'll probably update the terms of what they want to trademark and then probably have another go. Some
variation on it.
Yeah. The second one that they did was apparently LP in capitals and then Let's Play, but obviously the S from Let's was replaced with the Z. But again, they'll still chase after people with the original Let's Plays. And thankfully someone saw sense and just said, no, it's now in the public domain. Fuck you.
Nice touch. Cool. Well, as always, people, we've got to get vocal about this. We've got to sort of give some feedback. So when you see these companies do it, jump on their forums and just cane them, hit them hard. I'm going to hit you fast, I'm going to hit you hard. Every time you try and do anything, get over there, say something, and speak with your wallets as well. Speak with your wallets.
Yeah, that's the only way, really, isn't it? It doesn't... I'm a very cynical person. I don't think that these companies could give a crap about people's opinions, but the minute that profits start to fall and the share price starts to drop, then you soon see them on their knees ready to swallow whatever you're about to shove down their throat.
They don't give a shit what you think. They do give a shit about you standing in a public forum and sharing with everybody else what you think.
Yeah, that is true.
Cool. Hit 'em, boys, hit 'em. Right, we're going to wrap this section up. We'll be back in a bit with our Uncharted territory. Okay, so here we are in our Uncharted territory section. So this is where we like to meander our way around random parts of the gaming industry and just have a bit of a freeform, hippie love-in section of video gaming. And this week we're talking about what, Link?
The rise and fall and resurrection of the music rhythm game.
Yeah, so there's some deep-seated fans sat right here talking about this, isn't there? We love it.
I spent countless hours and countless pounds on Rock Bands 1, 2 and 3. I've still got a copy. I've still got all of my Xbox 360 copies of the game. If I ever do get a PlayStation 4, I've literally got about £1,000 worth of music ready to re-download onto the PlayStation 4. Obviously I wasn't stupid enough to then repeat that on the Xbox, thankfully.
But can't you export them over?
No, it's system locked, unfortunately.
Damn.
Which really sucks ass because I've got some fucking epic tracks.
Damn, that's not good to hear.
No.
But I'm exactly the same. If I look down at my little 360 collection, or the remainder of it now, it's all Guitar Hero, Rock Band. For me,
the only things
the ones which are lived on, basically.
Yeah.
And for me, the one which Rock Band is the shit because it's the best selection and probably done the best. But there was one which just when they released it, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Metallica. I fucking rocked that game big, massively.
I wasn't the biggest Metallica fan. I'm still not. But yeah, I can't deny that it is some blazing tunes, and I think that the selection of the other bands that they've got on there is amazing as well.
Yeah, they matched up really well. There's other ones which sort of suck balls a little bit, like the Beatles one.
That was Rock Band, wasn't it?
But generally.
Yeah. The Van Halen, Guitar Hero Van Halen's epic.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but there's some fucking unbelievable tracks on there. Obviously, Eddie Van Halen was, one of the greatest virtuoso metal guitarists of all time, and still is. But yeah, I think it's something that again, like with, say, football games and sports games, and there was the yearly iterations, and there's all of this one-upmanship and all of the bollocks that goes with it. Instead of just doing updates and just packs, I mean, I think that's where Rock Band failed, in the sense that they spent an awful amount of money and effort and time developing another one in the series that didn't really bring much to it. I think the difference between Rock Band 1 and 2 was brilliant. Obviously, they expanded the drum tracks.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had then the drum solos, but everything that they then proceeded to do from that point forward could have been covered with patches and updates. And I mean, if it was at the start of the generation, you could understand them doing it, but everyone got used to people sort of having to put in patches, especially now. I mean, they're taking the stance with Rock Band 4, thankfully, that they're not going to be releasing one every year with another 90 tracks on there, which you're then going to have to export everything into that for another fucking 40 quid, and it's just going to be little updates where they can.
Yeah. And the thing is like, if we look at what the music industry or the video game music industry is like over here, they've just done the same thing. They've repeated the same thing. You start to look into sort of like the Japanese marketplace, there's just some fucking ludicrous stuff going on over there.
I mean, I think the main difference between the Western markets and the Japanese markets is obviously Western markets, we've got bigger homes and there's more space to do these things in your own home. And obviously with that, then no one's going to want a whole entire room filled with cheap plastic peripherals. And that's, I think, wherein lies the problem. Whereas the arcade scene in Japan is still massive. So, yeah, you can have a bloody fridge-sized arcade cabinet with 3 or 4 different bloody bits stuck to it, because they've got the space. These are designated areas designed for these things.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is...
And it's the social side of it as well.
Yeah, exactly. And what I found just nutty is the amount of investment that goes into these machines. We're talking like, cages round it, you've got glass sides, you've got like 3D screens. I mean, they take up huge amounts of space. No one of these cabinets can be cheap in any way, shape or form.
Oh god, no.
But they know they're obviously going to get the revenue for it, because as you said, the arcade industry over there is still strong, still bubbling away, doing its thing. But just like the type of games, I mean, just the control methods. I saw one which was, the very large 2 Japanese drums where they have
the taiko drums.
Yeah, exactly. They have games like that where I watched this guy basically do like a dual game, so as in 2 people's version at the same time, just mashing this shit out.
Full drum going mad on the 2 players.
Exactly, and what variation have we had over here? Okay, so we had some bass music loop games, which were what they are. We're talking about music on the PlayStation back in 1998. Then we had things like Donkey Konga. Great game.
Which, again, that was developed by Namco, and that was using, obviously, all of the cues from taiko drums. So,
and then we moved into sort of the Rock Band Guitar Hero sort of phase.
Well, yeah, obviously it was Harmonix, which then developed Rock Band's, not Rock Band, Guitar Hero for PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Obviously that was then based from a Japanese arcade game. They'd seen that and thought, this is brilliant, we've got to get this into people's homes. Because again, by that point, like the Western arcades had died. I mean, these were what were sanctuaries for kids and well, maybe paedophiles. Slowly sort of descended into just dens for paedophiles, basically.
Yeah.
And they're not the brightly lit, wonderful places of social joy
and happiness
that they are in Japan. They just become seedy, and there was always some fat guy that would give you change, and he always looked slightly sketchy and
sweaty, drizzled in Argos gold.
Yeah, and then there was the suspect sticky floors. And like
worn out machines which are being beaten the crap out of.
I mean, you look at a British arcade, they're generally the bastions of I don't know,
prepubescent and paedophiles, basically.
Yeah, and it's like the only places you really see them now is little crappy seaside towns. I mean, we've got 2 or 3 of them in our town, haven't we?
And all of them just welcome you to drop bits of change into machines which try and push it over the edge. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the occasional really cracking old like 64 game, or some of the really old classic arcade games like the Capcom stuff.
I remember going to we have in where we live something like Sega World, which is basically a gaming zone, and they had a a console in there, and I looked recently online how much it is to buy one of these. It's still going to cost me $2,500, and I can't quite warrant the space or the investment yet. But it was the Fist of the North Star game.
I love that game. That's so good.
6 pads which came out independently, and it was nothing to do with how hard you hit it.
Timing and fucking speed.
Exactly. And you can get that.
I love that, man.
Amazing.
We used to cheat that, and we'd have 2 of us. One, like say, you got the 3 pads each, because obviously we were only kids at the time, and yeah, I love that game because obviously old Fist of the North Star is possibly one of the greatest manga or anime series at running.
7 points of the Northern Star. Amazing.
I love it. Absolutely love that.
I remember
Kenshiro.
Yeah, I remember fighting like the fat guy, which was like the second. I think it's the second round.
Boss,
yeah. And to finish him off in like the special move, you had to do like a circular motion around all the 6 pads. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then at the end of it, if you got it right, if you hit it in time, it's like finish him with 1 punch, and just a soul pad comes out, and you're like, bam.
Yeah,
I'm fucking losing your shit over it. Amazing.
Do you know,
amazing.
I actually got into that series because of the really crap live action film, which was still like watching the series. It's a complete shambles, but it's fucking brilliant. If you've never seen the series, the Japanese anime series, watch the live action film first. And then watch the series, because the live action film's got some great fucking actors in there. You've got people like the old dude, Malcolm McDowell. He's in it, only for a brief amount. Got some random Australian dude who plays Kenshiro, Lord Shin.
Can you see why this is our uncharted territory section?
Because again, we've just ended up just basically
well off topic. So reining ourselves back into this, looking at some of the older games where this sort of originated from. Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah,
that was a classic one. We had all the sort of dance mat ones, and they did like a dance aerobics one in 1987. But I don't think we ever really grasped the music scene. We had our sort of like honeymoon period with like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and there's some of us who loved it so much are still playing it now. And the rest of us kind of went, when I'm bored, and those plastic guitars are sat there gathering dust, and there's not really been a great deal more in the space since then.
No, I mean, me and you were both really excited when it was announced that Rock Band 4 was coming back to next gen, or current gen.
Yay! That's me.
But yeah, I think it is something that eventually people got tired because there was no real expansion beyond it. I mean, again, like we were saying, in Japan, they don't buy all of the peripherals to sit in their home because they don't have the room. They go to an arcade to do that. I mean, obviously, we're watching some of those videos, and they are utterly insane.
We're watching some guy playing Sound Vortex 3 Gravity, and the display, just the controls were like 2 circular knob things, phrasing boom, up in the sort of the corners of the screen, and then you had like 4 buttons and another 2 buttons below it, and he's there twizzling these knobs and he's hammering these buttons and he's playing it like some ridiculous speed. I couldn't even see the notes coming down the screen, let alone like shifting between sort of the octaves and oh man, triple A'd it as well. It's like, what the hell
there was that sort of Res clone, wasn't there? The one all that looked a bit like Res, but there was this like 2 buttons, or for what we could see, there was 2 buttons, but it wasn't just then the 2 buttons which you've got to press. It's a full 360 degree movement of those buttons, and oh god, it was just insane. And
like you said, just the investment on the cabinet alone is like crazy.
You're probably talking a good sort of 40 grand, aren't you?
I just don't know how they do it, but obviously, it's, like you said, it's still very much a bubbling scene. So, is there any games that you can think of? And I think about Donkey Konga a little bit, but is there any particular games that you would like to see sort of either A, come back, or B, being reinvigorated with some nuances? Or because for me, the idea of like Donkey Konga, where you had those 2 like bongos, you're like dum da da dum da dum dum da da da, clapping out like the rhythms. I'm there macking out Super Mario like dum da da dum da.
But the thing is, I found about that is obviously my mate, who was a massive Nintendo fan, he ended up getting the imported Japanese games, because obviously he had Donkey Konga 1 and there's a second one.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And they were so much better than the European versions.
Really? Because I had the European versions.
It was always really cheesy J-pop, but it was unreal. But they had stuff like, you remember the old Japanese TV series Monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that tune on there. Instantly sold. That's better than every single tune that's on the European version.
Cuts me deep.
But
well, I mean, is there any value in that sort of genre for these sort of Dance Revolution. I mean, other than that video we watched with that
poor Gaijin.
some Caucasian guy, obviously in a Japanese arcade, who was kind of leaning back on the pad so he could kind of play like both player 1 and player 2 at the same time. He was like hitting all these directional things, really chuffing himself at the end. You could tell he really nailed it, and then turned around to see he was being filmed and went very shy.
Probably. And then I'd imagine that there was a group of sort of Japanese sort of school kids or high school kids that they're just pointing, laughing,
killing themselves with laughter. But I mean, do we want to? I appreciate you need a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah.
But do we need those sort of games? I don't know if we do.
I honestly don't think that it would be worth investing in them. For companies to invest in them for a Western audience. I just don't think they're getting the traction. I mean, how many fat Japanese people do you see?
Not I don't know if we're dancing on an area
of... you couldn't imagine, say, many Americans go into an arcade and playing those kind of games other than kids that aren't large. You get some of these fat fuckers on there, they'll break them.
Yep.
But I just honestly don't think that we, as in Western audiences, are able, not necessarily able, but are willing, to get up and exert ourselves. It's like, well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to the fucking gym.
Damn right.
I'm not going to spend money to fucking sweat my ass off.
Other than the gym.
Exactly, other than the gym. But I mean, every single person pretty much is aspired to be, or would at some point had visions of grandeur in being a rock star or a guitar player or some kind of musician, and that captures a sort of an idea that I think a lot of people in obviously Europe and America can get into.
Yeah, I mean, so things like Guitar Hero, I remember having this opinion when I first heard about it. It was one of our buddies, Kia, and yourself, who were sort of massively into it, and I remember going around Kia's and he said to me, have you played Guitar Hero? And he broke out this small plastic guitar, and I just looked at him and I thought, you fucking mug. Yeah. You mug. I was like, what a twat. Jumping around his living room with a small plastic guitar. Then put it in my hands, and I played a bit, and immediately I was transformed into Slash. I was down on my knees, ripping my shirt open, trying to find some tight spandex,
I feel kind of bad for that. I feel like, because that was pretty much like heroin for us. And then Rock Band come out, and it was just like, Jesus Christ, they've made heroin better? Shit! It's like the difference between coke and crack. It's like, I can sniff that, and that's Guitar Hero, or I can have some crack, and I'm invincible. It was unreal. It was...
So, also, something else that I found out was Kia explained to me that one of his friends, which I later found out to be you, the way he explained it, and I think he overcooked it a little bit, but he said that he went round to their place and kind of went up to their room and opened the door to find someone, which might have been you or may have been someone else, and he used the expression duct taped it, but I think he said kind of just snuck it under the strap, put the microphone under the strap of the guitar, so you could both play and do vocals at the same time. Amazing.
It's that trophy horn, mate. It was when I had it on the PlayStation 3. And obviously everyone was a bunch of poor ass lame fuckers that just wouldn't come in and play the guitar, and obviously if you got nobody to help, you do it yourself, don't you? But no,
phrasing, you rock. Boom.
Obviously I wasn't going to go out and spend fucking 30-40 quid on a mic stand, so you make do, don't you? It's called a bit of ingenuity.
This is coming from the same guy who with Kia basically destroyed a potato masher.
No. He destroyed his drum pedal mid-game. We had to fix it, so they repeated the shit out of it, mate.
Took the flat bit of a potato masher, applied it to the pedal to strengthen, and I mean as in screwed to the pedal. And funny enough, it was later adopted by Harmonix.
yeah, they did. They basically stole our potato masher idea.
Screw you guys.
But no, I'm quite happy that worked out. That was a solid bit of Blue Petering.
Truly amazing stuff. Okay, so there it is. That's our rollout sound. I just want to give a quick shout out to some of the people who supported us on our first podcast last week. Quick shout out to Biggie Mac, Mossman and Cryoman. Thanks for the support. fantastic ideas for the show. We're going to look to bake some of those in later. So I guess from Angry Link, it's
goodbye.
And for me, it's adios, amigos.